everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Before I say anything, I just want to apologize. I'm getting over a cold. I planned on filming this video last week, but I was like essentially bedridden, so anyway, if my voice sounds weird or if I sound a little stuffy, it's because I'm still trying to, anyway. So this video is going to be different, as I have been saying a lot lately, but it's because it's going to be about endometriosis, because March is technically, at least from what I could find, March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, and the color is yellow, like how breast cancer is pink, the ribbon is pink, the ribbon for endometriosis is yellow, and this is my In the Heights shirt, because it's the only yellow shirt I own, but anyway. So, okay, so what is endometriosis, you might be asking, and I have a handy notebook over here with the scientific definition. Endometriosis is a disease that affects women because the uterine tissue, which is called like the endometrium is like uterine tissue, I think. It's when it grows outside of the uterus and grows on things like the ovaries or the fallopian tubes, which is what connects everything, if you didn't know that. Let me preface this by saying, obviously this is something that I have, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it, and I'm going to get more into like my own personal experience, but this is just kind of the basis of, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, here's facts for you. So like I said, it's uterine tissue that grows outside of where it's supposed to, and because it's uterine tissue, it still reacts with the normal stuff, so it bleeds just like normal stuff does during a menstrual cycle. The only problem is that it's bleeding where blood can't easily get out, because it's not on the inside, it's on the outside, so the blood kind of just, I don't want to say pools, but it does, it just kind of stays in the one area and doesn't really come out of you, which causes inflammation and pain and stuff. And because of all that, with the bleeding and the tissue itself growing can cause cysts, like ovarian cysts, and I actually had 3 at one point, and it can cause inflammation, like I said, and scar tissue that binds the organs together because it's tissue, and if it keeps growing to a point, the organs, like you can have, like say the normal like uterus is supposed to be like uterus and then ovaries like over here, but the scar tissue can end up condensing them all into this one area that's really painful and not great. As far as I know, I'm not that far. That's like stage 4 technically. But anyway, that's like the edge of the spectrum of this disease. So that's the basic thing is that when you get your menstrual cycle, all the tissue bleeds, but because some of it can't leave, it causes pain. That's the base explanation for what endometriosis is. And at one point, statistic I looked up, I think it said like every one of 10 women in the United States has endometriosis. Something I found today said 11%, or over 6.5 million women. So if you don't have it, probably someone you know does. It may be undiagnosed, but probably have it. And there's no, from what I did a very quick research this morning on it, there's no exact cause. It can affect any woman from like 15 years of age to pre-menopause, all of that nonsense. And yeah, and it can be like genetically linked. They're saying it can be genetically linked. It can be like due to other problems, that if you have other problems going on down there, endometriosis can be a direct effect of that. But there isn't a necessarily like this is how it happens, so stay away from this. And as such, you can't prevent it, but I saw something that said you could keep your estrogen levels low, because estrogen, I learned something new today, estrogen is what thickens your uterus lining, which can lead to much more painful periods. So, and it was like you can lower estrogen by exercising. I know they say like cow milk is supposed to have a lot of estrogen in it, so, try and cut back on that kind of a thing. But, yeah. So, you can't prevent it, we don't know how it starts, and there is no cure, no end-all, be-all cure for endometriosis. A lot of people take medication like birth control because that keeps you from having your period, which keeps the tissues from bleeding, from causing you pain, but that doesn't actually get rid of the disease. Endometriosis is still there, you just don't feel it anymore. But in a lot of cases, birth control doesn't work for women. So there's like, you could take different kinds of, you could do like, people like to say exercise or change your diet. Sometimes that can help. We tried diet changes for a while when I was younger. Okay, so what some women will do is, it's not necessarily like, it's not like a vasectomy, it's not like getting your tubes tied essentially, it's not like that. They will get like their uterus removed or something, or get their ovaries removed. It's some like surgery like that that's big, that takes something out in a way, and obviously that affects people from having children or whatever, but sometimes the pain is like so immense that they have quite literally no other option, is to be either bedridden for the rest of your life or have a surgery and move on. But I'm not there, I've been fine for a while, so thankfully, but that's usually considered like stage 4. There's 4 stages, it's based on the pain, goes from minimal, like mild, moderate to severe. I'm pretty sure someone said mine might have been a stage 2 when I went to the doctor. 1 or 2, it's been a long time. So mine is obviously not on the really bad side of the scale, but still. And I kind of like forgot to mention, but like symptoms of endometriosis is intense like menstrual pain or irregular menstrual cycles, and like that kind of stuff was happening to me. So I think there's like there's other symptoms that are like if you have pain during sex or whatever, which I don't know. But yeah, so like if you're listening to my story and you feel like some of this may apply to you, I would say go to a doctor, go get yourself checked out. But yeah, my first instance of experiencing endometriosis was when I was around 11 years old. It was before I started high school. We were homeschooled at the time and going to go to a chocolate factory for a field trip. Obviously, you can imagine the excitement. But anyway, as the day came and I was in a lot of pain. I was like throwing up, and I literally could not make it down the driveway without like having to puke. So I had to stay home from the chocolate factory, and it is a fact that I never give up. I will still be bitter about it because I've never gone back. And my mom had to stay home with me and she didn't go either, so we're both over here like, yay. But that was the first time that I can vividly remember having such intense pain that it kept me from doing something. When I first started high school, we went to this gynecologist that my mom went to, and they ended up not being great because they wanted to prescribe me birth control right off the bat, not even like diagnosing me or anything. It was just like, let's just put her on birth control just in case. My mom was like, no, we came here for answers, not just pills. So we were like, okay, bye. So then we went to the next place where I was for a while. I would go get like monthly checkups there. I was there a lot. If you knew me freshman year of high school, I was out a lot because of pain and because of doctor's visits and stuff. And basically what was happening with the gynecologist is they thought that I had cysts, like ovarian cysts that needed to be taken out and removed. So we were preparing for a surgery that I was going to get in the spring of 2012, right before my freshman year ended, essentially. I have 2 very vivid, like painful memories of my freshman year of high school, which was when it was like really bad. So one memory I have really vividly of pain is being in my human geography class, ? Human geography class, and I was sitting at my desk and I had my knees up. I mean, I was sitting like this, but leaned forward with my knees essentially like this. Anyway, so I was like leaned forward like this, pushing like my stomach into my knees as hard as humanly possible, because it literally felt like, and I've said this all the time, it literally felt like there was a bubbling pool of lava in my like intestines. It was just like there was like the popping sound and I was just sitting there like, wow, I am so interested in Mesopotamia right now. I would rather be dying because it hurt so bad, and I was just like, if we could hurry this up a little bit, it'd be great. And then another, I just really remember that feeling of literal lava sitting in my stomach and churning me into bits, which was great, you know. And then another experience I had once was, I had already been out of school the first half of classes. I woke up, I felt awful, I was just home, I was like, maybe it'll pass, because a lot of times when I get sick, it would either last 30 minutes or it could last for 2 days, and that would be 2 days of like no eating, no drinking, no sleeping, just pain and vomit. That would be the 2 days. So I was like, maybe it could be on the shorter end. So we gave it like a half hour, you know, of pain and heating pads and all that junk. And I said, you know what, I think I'm feeling a little better, let's go to school, I'll see, you know, I only have half the day left, I'll go. So I went to school right before second period was going to end, because this is when we had just 4 periods in the day at my school. So I got there, right at the end of second period, I remember my teacher was like, I don't even know why you bothered to come, the day's halfway over. And I was like, well, you know, yeah, the absences, they get you. So then I went to my third period class, which was like science, and we were going to watch a movie based off a book we had just read, which is called Rocket Boys, whatever. It was a Earth, Space, Science or something. Anyway, so I got to class, and at the time I was taking these little like homeopathic tablets. They were little tiny like pill things in a bottle that I would kind of keep with my bag, and at PE I kept it, you know, in my shirt. But it would, for some reason, you'd put a pellet in, or like 5, and they would dissolve, and it would somehow kind of ease your pain, like a tablet of ibuprofen. I don't remember what it was, it's been a long time. But, so I'd have those, and I was kind of like down on them, you know, and I was like, I don't feel great. So I left my stuff, and I went to the bathroom, and proceeded to collapse on the floor in agony. And I was like calling my mom, and I was like, I need to come home because it hurts a lot, and I'm basically plastered on the floor of this high school bathroom. And my mom was like, can you get off the bathroom floor? She was like calling like the front desk to be like, can you come get my child off the bathroom floor so I can pick her up? But it was just like, the bathroom floor was gross, but it felt cold and it felt nice, so I was just like, no, I'm in pain and this feels good. But anyway, so like, an administrator ended up coming over and like helped me out of the stall and like got all my junk from my room, or from the classroom, and my mom picked me up, and I was literally just laying on the floor of the van like, please kill me. And she brought my stuff over. She was like, I saw, hold please, I'm gonna cough and die. So she was like, I saw that Danielle had these pills, just so you know in the future you can't bring those here. Yeah, and I was like, you don't understand, that's what keeps me alive as I'm dying in the backseat of the van, you know? But anyway, that was that experience. As I was saying before, for me, my pain could last as long as 30, or like as minimal as 30 minutes of pain and then be done, to 2 full days. Like I could spend 2 full days, and those were 2 days I would usually have to miss school for, which is why the absences were such a big deal. So yeah, I missed a lot of school freshman year and kind of going into sophomore year as well. But anyway, so freshman year, we got to like the end of freshman year. I had been running track all season, which had been like, not great, because you know, it like the running and the bouncing and the irritation was not no bueno. So I got surgery. They were like, yeah, there's only gonna be like 1 cyst, there's 1 really big one we gotta get out. And then I got out of surgery and they were like, yeah, there were 3. 1 giant cyst and then 2 little other ones down there. And I was like, oh, great. And essentially, the surgery was like 3 incisions. There's 1 in my belly button, there's 1 like on my pelvic bone, and then there's 1 to my left hip, essentially, is where it is. So it's like, because that's where they went in. Whenever I had my pain, it was always on the left side. and I would literally have 2 heating pads. I would have 2 heating pads, one like in between. I know I'm not helpful here, hold on. I'd have a heating pad here in this general area pressed up, and then a heating pad on my back right there, because that's where the pain was. It was like a straight arrow through the back, you know. And sometimes the pain was so intense that I would give my, like, not on purpose, but I would have like actual like burn marks from how hot the heating pad was, because I'd have to keep it like directly on my skin. So yeah. And then, like I said, I wouldn't be able to eat anything during that 30-minute to 2-day window. No food would stay down. I'd be lucky if I could take ibuprofen. What I would be able to eat would be Ritz crackers and lemon lime Gatorade. And I know Gatorade is awful for you, but that was the only thing. Like, I could barely even drink water, okay? For some reason, the only thing my body could keep down was lemon lime Gatorade. So, I don't know. So like I said, I got the surgery, and I remember going to see the first musical we had at the school, which was Wedding Singer. A lot of my friends were in it, and I wasn't. I remember going there to see it, and I was like this, okay? I walked like this, like a little old lady, all hunched over like this, because I was in still so much pain that I had to walk like an old person. So anyway, that's a vivid memory, is walking like, you know. For a while there was nothing, no pain, nothing, and then I know in sophomore year I started getting pain again. And so now this guy was like, okay, let's try putting you on some pills. And I was like, no pills. It's like, well, okay, just try. So we tried these birth control pills. I don't remember what they were anymore. I don't even know if they were birth control. There might have been something else, but essentially I was given menopause medically. I got a lot of hot flashes and all that stuff. I remember vividly being in a class, and it was like winter time, and I'd have like 5 layers on and get in the class and be like, oh my god, I'm dying. I feel like I'm 55 years old and, you know, having menopause. So that was that. But then those didn't like actually work to take away pain or anything. It just gave me hot flashes. So we stopped that. And then for a period between my sophomore year and junior year, we just tried a lot of dietary changes. Like we tried limiting salt. Like, I'd make pasta sauce with just no salt added cans, which is not the greatest. And then also at that time I had to do like other dietary things for like allergies, so whew, that was not a fun time for my food intake. But I also would take like these concoctions of things that my mom would make. Like my spot at the kitchen table in the morning would literally look like a laboratory with like vials of things I was trying to drink. Obviously none of them worked. So my mom got the name of this doctor, whose name I don't know, sorry, she's in Orlando, but she got the name of this doctor from someone. It's like a pediatric gynecologist or a pediatric something or other. So we're like, all right, let's go check him out. So we went to Orlando, and basically the first thing the lady there said was, you have endometriosis. And I was like, I have what? I have what now? And she said, yeah, it's endometriosis. It's this, yada, yada, yada. And it's blah, 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 blah. And I was like, like, there really is something wrong with me. Like, I'm not just like, you know, dramatic. It's like, it really hurts. So I was like, wow. I was like, you know, hearing that word was both like, I am not, you know, being super dramatic, and it was also like, there's actually something wrong with me. Oh boy. That was my reaction. So then what ended up happening was I had to get a series of 2 shots. They were both, one was in the, I'll just make it simple, one was in the upper thigh, one was in the butt. They were both not pleasant. But I got the thigh first. And I'm pretty sure this was 2013. I got the thigh shot, and then I'd come back a couple months later, I think, and get the other one. And then I still had like one more period in between then, but then after that they gave me these pills, and I think they're actually a pretty high like grade of something. I've been having the same pills for like 3 years now. They're called Microgestion 120. Apparently it's like a stronger prescription because it's supposed to block my period entirely. So she gave me those, and essentially I haven't had a period in 3 years. Like, I don't take placebos. I just keep taking those ones, and I've missed a day technically only once. I'd say twice only because I took the pill really late in the evening because I was at a choir field trip and I had to take it really late. But so far only missing like a day doesn't seem to do anything, but I'm not gonna push it, you know? And so that's like mostly my experience with endometriosis. When I had it for like 4 years before it went away, essentially. And during that time, I missed so many events, like from school or with friends, birthday parties, stuff like that. And like I said, it would just be completely bedridden for up to 2 days, every around 3 weeks. Sometimes towards the end, before I was getting my, I think before I got my surgery was when I would get cramps in between periods. Like, I would still be feeling pain every 2 weeks even though I wasn't getting my period. So, but luckily, like I said, I haven't felt really anything in 3 years. I keep taking the pills. I haven't have nothing. Every time I go there, I actually have to go to the doctor, the gynecologist, on Wednesday and have an appointment. And every time they're like, well, it's whenever you want to get off the pill to have like a baby with your spouse or whatever, you know, you can just do that. And I'm like, or I won't, because it's painful and I don't want to go through that again, so sorry. But anyway, what I want to say is I'm extremely lucky that it has worked for me, because I have heard numerous stories of women that birth control doesn't work for them. And even like a higher grade one like I have, it just doesn't work for them, or their insurance doesn't cover it. We're lucky, ours is free. Every time I get it, it's free because of insurance and all that stuff. So, but it's not. And I only had to go through like 2 doctors. The first one doesn't really count to me. There's a lot of people who go through many doctors over many years before they can get a diagnosis. And I don't know. I guess my point is like, it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, so I'm trying to be like, make yourself aware. But like I said, if any of this you feel like applies to you, like if there's literally like days that you cannot do anything because you are having such intense pain, it might not just be you, it might be something else. So go get checked out, you know, from somewhere. If you are in the Orlando, Central Florida area and you are interested in the OBGYN I'm talking about who has helped me, let me know and I will give you her name, because I just can't remember it right now, so, you know. But, I don't know. Like I said, there's no cure, but not a lot of people know about it, even though it affects like 1 in 10, and like I said, if you know, you probably know someone who has it undiagnosed. So that's kind of, like I said, my story. If you have any questions that I left out, because I may have, because I didn't totally write down my story, I just wrote down like the facts, so the facts are probably pretty straightforward, but my story is probably like, you know, so anyway, yeah, let me know if this was helpful to you. If I can find organizations that seem legit about like awareness, or if they're looking up cures or doing research or something, I'll try and leave them in the link description box down below. Or if you know of any organizations that are like that, let me know, leave me a link, because like I said, there's not a lot being done right now for even finding a cure. There's not a lot being done there's not a lot being done to educate people about it. So here I am, your friendly YouTube endometriosis awareness instructor, teacher. Anyway, That's it for this video, you guys. I am going to go now, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.